to the Dan Show, starring Dan Whalen.
Hey guys, welcome back to my show where we talk about all things movies, TV shows, and cigars. And today we're going to be talking about the third movie in the Star Wars franchise. We're going to be talking about Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith. Now, before we get started, if you could please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, definitely helps me out, and stay tuned for more videos. Definitely going to be in continuation of the Star Wars franchise. I think the next one I'm going to do is Rogue One, because that's kind of the in-between the third movie and the fourth movie. Rogue One is in the middle. I don't know if I'm going to do Han Solo. What do you guys think? Should I do Han Solo? I've seen it. I'd have to rewatch it before making the video, because it's kind of like one of those, like, yeah, I've seen it, but you don't really remember it type situations. Let me know if you want to watch that one too, or want me to, talk about that one as well on the show. Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much. So this one kind of already immediately starts off with just like action. So it starts off with this epic space battle with Obi-Wan and Anakin, and so this is essentially the movie where Anakin just like breaks bad. That's pretty much where this movie takes off. Like, this is kind of like the whole point of this movie, is where kind of like the uprise of the Sith and Darth Vader pretty much. But Anakin kind of starts off as good like halfway through the movie until he's just like easily manipulated by the Sith Lord, Darth Sidious. And I mean, not for nothing, but Anakin was definitely weak-minded, and I'm gonna get into it. Like, there's just like, he was so gullible, I guess would be the word, that's just my opinion. We're gonna get into that in a minute, but like, so they're in this space battle, they have to go save the Senator, which is, in case you didn't realize, it's, the Emperor Palpatine, the bad guy, the main bad guy, whatever, but nobody knows that yet, somehow, nobody knows that yet. So they get into the ship where the Separatists, right? I think that's like where the droids are called, the Separatists. They get on the ship, and then you meet this character who I think did not have enough screen time, and he was kind of like just like a thrown-in random character. You don't hear about him at all in any other movie other than this one. But you meet this General Grievous guy who's like this kind of like advanced droid, but like he also has like a heart. He's like coughing the whole movie. It's kind of funny. Like, he's literally just a bionic alien, but he's a cool character because like he has like 4 arms and he can like do Jedi twists and stuff. We'll talk about that. But so we meet up with General Grievous, and you only find out that he's like the bad guy of this movie, kind of. But like, if you remember Count Dooku in the second movie, yeah, Count Dooku probably has 5 minutes, maybe like 3 minutes tops in this movie of just screen time, and Anakin just beats the shit out of him, like literally. And then, so you already kind of know that he's like I don't want to say the apprentice, but maybe supposedly the apprentice of Lord Palpatine. And as soon as Anakin beats the crap out of him, the Palpatine's just like, yeah, go ahead and kill him. Yeah, I don't need him now. And then Anakin's like, well, I shouldn't. And I'm gonna say it. Like, if I were Count Dooku, I'd be like, listen, dude, that guy over there, he's the freaking Sith Lord. Like, the hell, like, you got the wrong guy. Even though he was a bad guy anyway. But I would have definitely been like, well, if I'm about to die anyway, like, I'm telling your secret, dude. I don't know. Like, that's just my opinion. But like, that's kind of like the start of where Anakin really starts to become like bad. Obi-Wan is kind of knocked out on the floor, so of course Obi-Wan's not able to consult him or talk him down or anything like that. Like, it's not the Jedi way type stuff. But it is what it is. Like I said, whatever. So if you remember from the second movie, Padme and Anakin are already married. They're married now. And there's a scene where Padme takes Anakin kind of like into like this little corridor or whatever. And she goes, guess what? I'm pregnant. Guess with who? You already know who. Oh my God. They don't know it's twins yet, but you already know like who's coming. You know what I mean? Whatever. But Anakin kind of ends up having like these nightmares of her dying during pregnancy or whatever, and he gets kind of like freaked out, whatever, and somehow Lord Palpatine finds out about these dreams that he's having and swears that he can save her from this horrible fate if he joins the dark side, which, come on, man, you know what I mean? Like, no one ever can be that gullible. I could be wrong. You know what? Honestly, I've probably witnessed something this stupid in my life. I just can't recall what it was. But like, it's just like really, dude. Like, wait till you find out what he had to do to get on the side of like, oh my God. Okay, so we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. We're gonna talk about like the hell that goes on in this movie. This is definitely, I think, the darkest movie in the franchise. So there's this thing, like, once Anakin kills Mace Windu, who is the purple lightsaber guy, played by the actor that's in every movie ever, Samuel L. Jackson. Literally every movie in the world, this guy's in it. Even Star Wars, apparently. But he's got the purple lightsaber. You know, Anakin kills him and, like, Palpatine's ends up, like, shocking him out the window. That's when Palpatine gives him the title of Darth Vader. Once the title of Darth Vader is given to Anakin Skywalker, he initiates this Order 66, and that's pretty much the execution of all the Jedi. All the Jedi. So they march to the Jedi. Anakin marches to the Jedi Temple with the clone troopers behind him, and just slaughters every Jedi. And there's the scene that we all know about, like the scene where it's like, oh, he's gone, is when he walks into the room where Yoda was training the younglings, which are like the kids training to be Jedi. And you see the one kid go, what are we going to do? Oh my God, hey, help. And you just see Anakin just ignite his lights and be like, oh my God, this son of a bitch. I'm going to say it, like, I love women. I'm single right now, which is fine. But, like, if I'm ever getting married, or if I'm ever married and I find out my wife might die during pregnancy, I would be willing to, like, at least, like, talk to her and say, hey, listen, this is what's going on. We have to take medical, precautions and shit. Something like that, You don't just go around, like, slaughtering people. Like, dude, come on. You know what I mean? Like, what? Like, just the easily stupid manipulation of Palpatine to Anakin is kind of, like, almost unrealistic to me. But whatever. It's just, I guess, like, they had to kind of make some kind of story about how evil he was. And, man, they freaking did it. This guy literally slaughters children just to save his wife. And it's like, okay, like, cool, there's, not cool, actually. There was another way to do it, man. There was another way to, there was definitely another way to, make this not be the way to go, whatever. But anyway, I didn't write the book, I didn't write the story. In modern day world, I would have, like, talked to my wife and been like, hey, I had a dream you're gonna die during childbirth. We need to take medical procedures, we got to get everything going, whatever. And then that's the healthy way to do it, I think, not just going ahead and slaughter an entire monk empire Jedi stuff, whatever. Anyway, so besides all that, that's like my biggest pet peeve of this movie is like how bad he just became out of nowhere over, like, I don't want to say a silly rumor, but like, he was just so easily manipulated. Like, he barely had a mind of its own, and like, just weak-minded, I guess, just like that, convinced that everything he believed in before was bad, just out of nowhere. Anyway, so Obi-Wan is kind of like the Han Solo of this movie. Like, he's kind of like the just good to be good, but he's kind of like the, like, badass of the whole movie. I love Obi-Wan, since Obi-Wan is probably the coolest Jedi ever. I'd say Qui-Gon, ironically, would be underneath him, even though Qui-Gon did not have enough screen time at all. But Obi-Wan is a cool character. Obi-Wan ends up, being the general of the army with the clones and all that, so he's pretty much in command of all of them. But once Order 66 happens, they kind of just say screw that, and they just kind of betray him. But Obi-Wan ends up living, and so does Yoda. Yoda is just like, I don't want to say godlike creature, but like he's kind of like just so in tune with the Force, it's almost like he saw it coming, whatever. I still don't get how Yoda did not see past Palpatine's, like, little ruse or whatever. I don't know, whatever, it is what it is. But anyway, I'd say the coolest part of this movie, after all the chaos is done, everything is destroyed, whatever, Obi-Wan confronts Anakin about what he's done to the Jedi Temple and, like, how he's completely lost to the dark side now. And then you possibly get literally the most epic lightsaber battle in all the Star Wars movies. I'd say it's better than the Darth Maul one with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. I'd say it's better than anything else. It's just so fast-paced, it's so epic, it's cool. The music in the background is like, it's intense. It's an intense fight scene between Obi-Wan and Anakin. And it's really good. Like, I actually thoroughly enjoy this fight. Even though, like I said, it's kind of weird because it's almost like father versus son because of their relationship and time, throughout the, like, history of them being together as, Padawan and Master, whatever. And like I said, it's just kind of like Anakin became so highly trained that he was able to match Obi-Wan in the Force, which you'll know what I'm talking about if you watch the movie. They have like this hand little thing and they kind of just blow each other back, which is kind of cool, whatever. But like, epic fight, epic battle. So it kind of leads to, like, there's an ending where, again, Anakin just gets cocky. He goes, "You underestimate my power," and then Obi-Wan's like, "Don't jump, dude, just don't do it." And then Obi-Wan's got the high ground. Anakin's on this little platform, and Anakin jumps, and then Obi-Wan just like, just slices Anakin's arms and his one arm and both his legs off. And he's like, "You're the chosen one. Like, you were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. What the hell? You know what I mean? Oh my God." And then he goes, "I hate you," and then Obi-Wan's like, "Well, I loved you, man, and this is what you did. You kind of deserve this now." So later on, Emperor Palpatine, after fighting with Yoda, which is like going on at the same time as the Obi-Wan and Anakin battle, which that is just as cool. Again, something about watching that little green guy fight this normal-sized dude, flipping, bouncing, that kind of stuff. It's awesome. It's funny at the same time somehow, but it's still pretty cool. Oh, like, the fighting in this movie, like, the entire action of this movie is probably the greatest in all of the movies. Because it's almost like not stop. Like, there's, like, very minimal scenes of, like, relaxation, I guess, but, like, the entire movie is just a giant action scene. You know what I mean? I think. But it's all choreographed. Everything's, like, really cool, colorful. Everything's nice about it. It's visually pleasing. But once the fight between Yoda and Palpatine is, that, like, the Darth Sidious is another name. Once that battle's over, Darth Sidious kind of senses that Anakin's in trouble, flies over to see him, and then picks him up as, like, this one-limbed body at this point, like, literally burned to death at this point because he was so close to the lava, ended up catching fire. Brutal, I know. But then, this is pretty much the part where, Anakin ends up getting the Darth Vader suit. And I think that's kind of crazy. Like, the first time you hear the deep, voice respirating, the breather that he has, it kind of gives you like a little chill. And then you kind of just see the sheer power of Darth Vader when he realizes that his anger killed Padme. Even though she wasn't dead yet, and she did technically die at childbirth, she more died from a broken heart. How cute. Like, aw, that's so cute. That's adorable. Whatever. Anyway, it happened, and then the last thing she says to Obi-Wan is there's still good in Anakin, which you don't find out until, like, another, like, fucking 20 years later, which we'll get into that later. That's kind of in the 6th movie. Right now we're in the 3rd. We'll get into that later, but like I said, it's just kind of like Anakin's a little just weak-minded in this movie, to a point where you're like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Like, I think honestly a simple, like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, would have been enough to, like, kind of snap him out of it. But I don't know. Like I said, Anakin's just a little girl, and, like, he's just kind of like a weak-minded nothing in this movie. I don't know. It really kind of pisses me off. Whatever. But anyway, all in all, the movie was really good. The movie is, like I said, visually pleasing, and this is kind of like where it ends. This was the ending of, like, the newer generation of the 1, 2, and 3. We waited years to get to these movies, and this is where it leads on into the 4th movie, which came out in the 70s. Kind of weird how they did that, but it's still cool. I'm going to end up doing Rogue One, I know that. I probably have to rewatch it before making a video, because that's another one that I don't watch all the time. But like I said, I've seen it before, and I want to watch it again. I want to redo that one. I want to do that one good. That, honestly, which came first, Halo Reach or Rogue One? Because they're almost the same movie. Or the game is also the same movie and vice versa. I don't know which one came first. Leave in the comment which one it was. But I liked Rogue One. I loved Halo Reach. Like, I was actually considering talking about video games on this channel. I'm not sure yet. I don't play them enough to really, like, talk about them too often. But I watched this trailer for Doom the Dark Ages, and I thought it was awesome. And I was like, man, that's a game I could get into. I love Doom Eternal and all that. But anyway, I'm definitely going to do Rogue One. I'm going to probably end up doing Solo. I'm not sure on that one yet, even though that is kind of like the in-between of those. So we'll see where that goes. But all in all, yeah, Revenge of the Sith, like, I can't rate these movies because they're all so freaking good. But yeah, no, like, Revenge of the Sith is awesome. Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments. Let me know if you think Anakin took it a little too far, because I definitely side with you if you do agree with that. I think he was, like, way out of line in an unrealistic way. Like, I would get, like, maybe a panic attack, but going on a full-blown, like, slaughter spree? Nah, man, come on. Come on! I don't know, whatever. But, like, it is what it is. Like I said, leave in the comment section what you thought of this movie. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I just want to remind everyone to have a fantastic day. And always stay tuned for more videos, guys. Thank you so much.